What if I told you that the most powerful force in your life isn't something you can see, but something you can speak? Today, I'm going to show you how prayer can shift your mindset, open unexpected doors, and transform the way you experience life, whether you're religious or not. In a world that moves faster every day, finding even a moment of quiet feels almost impossible. Our minds are constantly flooded with thoughts, work deadlines, financial pressure, relationships, social media noise, and the silent worries we carry that no one sees. This constant mental overload creates anxiety, stress, and emotional exhaustion. It becomes easy to feel lost in the chaos. This is exactly where the power of prayer steps in, not only as a spiritual practice, but as a deeply effective tool for achieving inner peace and mental clarity. Prayer, at its core, is a pause. It is a moment of stillness in a world full of rush. When you pray, you intentionally slow down your mind. You shift your focus from the external noise to internal stillness. Even before the words leave your lips or your heart whispers them silently, the act of turning your attention inward begins to calm your nervous system. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your thoughts, which were scattered moments ago, begin to align. Psychologists call this a cognitive reset. Spiritually, many describe it as connecting with God. In reality, it's both. Prayer creates a sacred space within you, a space where fear is quiet, confusion becomes clearer, and heavy emotions begin to soften. It is in this space that peace starts to form, not from the outside, but from within. One of the biggest sources of stress in life is the feeling that everything is out of your control. You worry about the future, regret the past, and carry the weight of expectations. Prayer allows you to release those burdens. It gives you a place to put your fears, your anxieties, and your uncertainties. Instead of holding them alone, you share them with God. This act alone can dramatically reduce mental pressure because your mind no longer feels the need to handle everything by itself. Think of it like pouring water out of a glass that's been overflowing. Prayer empties the emotional overflow. It removes the weight you've been carrying so you can finally breathe again. But prayer does more than provide peace. It sharpens your clarity. When you pray, you're not just speaking, you're also listening. In that quiet space, insights begin to rise. Thoughts become more organized. Decisions that felt overwhelming suddenly look clearer. Problems that felt huge become manageable. Prayer refocuses your attention on what matters and removes mental clutter that distracts you. This clarity doesn't always come as a loud voice or a sudden revelation. Often it comes as a gentle shift, a new perspective, a calmer thought, a sense of direction, a feeling of knowing what to do next. Some people describe it as intuition, others describe it as divine guidance. Whatever you call it, the result is the same. Prayer helps you think more clearly and act more confidently. Scientifically, studies have shown that prayer and meditation decrease stress hormones, reduce anxiety, lower blood pressure, and even activate the parts of the brain responsible for emotional regulation. In simple terms, prayer rewires the brain for peace. Spiritually, prayer creates a connection to something greater than yourself, something stable, unchanging, and full of wisdom. Knowing you are connected to that force gives your heart a rest it cannot find anywhere else. In moments of confusion, prayer gives you direction. In moments of fear, prayer gives you comfort. In moments of chaos, prayer gives you peace. In moments of doubt, prayer gives you clarity. And maybe the most beautiful part is this: prayer doesn't require a perfect place, perfect timing, or perfect words. You can pray while driving, while working, while crying, or while sitting in silence. Prayer meets you exactly where you are and brings peace to exactly where you need it. It is not about asking for a perfect life. It is about finding peace within the life you have. It is not about escaping reality. It is about giving your mind the strength and clarity to face it. In a world where everyone is searching for peace through entertainment, distractions, or temporary escapes, prayer offers something lasting, something deeply grounding, something real. It gives you a quiet mind, a stable heart, and a clear path forward. That is the true power of prayer. Not only that it changes the world around you, but that it transforms the world within you. Prayer strengthens faith and courage. Life will always present challenges, moments where you feel weak, uncertain, or overwhelmed. It's in these moments that many people start to doubt themselves, question their abilities, and lose their sense of direction. But prayer has a unique, powerful way of rebuilding what life tries to break within you. It is not just a spiritual ritual, it is a source of courage, confidence, and emotional strength. When you pray, you're not just saying words, you're reminding your soul of something bigger. You are not alone. You are not fighting your battles by yourself. You are not walking through life without support. This awareness alone can transform your life. Many people feel anxious because they believe they must control everything, every outcome, every decision, every threat. But that kind of responsibility crushes even the strongest hearts. Prayer shifts your mindset from self-reliance to God-reliance. It doesn't take away your strength, it multiplies it. When you place your fears into God's hands, you tap into a courage that your human heart couldn't create on its own. Courage doesn't always look like shouting or fighting. Sometimes courage is simply the strength to get out of bed in the morning when your heart feels heavy. Sometimes courage is the willingness to try again after you've failed. Sometimes courage is choosing hope when everything feels hopeless, and prayer gives you exactly that. When you pray, you reconnect with your faith that everything has purpose, that every struggle has meaning, and that every challenge is preparing you for something greater. Prayer reminds you that God sees what you cannot see. He knows what you don't know. He plans what you cannot predict. That knowledge strengthens you in ways no motivational quote ever could. Because when your faith grows, your courage grows automatically. Prayer transforms fear into understanding. It transforms confusion into trust. It transforms helplessness into determination. Think of a time you faced something difficult. May be financial stress, heartbreak, loss, or uncertainty about the future. In those moments, courage didn't come from logic. It came from something deeper, something unexplainable. That is the quiet strength that prayer unlocks. Prayer also builds courage by shifting your focus. Instead of focusing on your problem, prayer helps you focus on God's power. Instead of seeing your limitations, you begin to see possibilities. Instead of drowning in what's going wrong, you start to notice what's still going right. And that shifts, small but powerful, gives you the strength to keep moving forward. You see, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Prayer creates a mental space where fear does not control your actions. It helps you rise above your emotions and see life from a higher vantage point. It tells your heart, you are capable, you are protected, you are guided, you are stronger than you think. And this is where true faith begins to grow, not in moments of ease, but in moments of struggle. Even when your circumstances do not change instantly, you change, your mindset shifts, your inner strength increases, your patience grows. Prayer trains your spirit to endure, to trust, and to remain hopeful in the face of uncertainty. Sometimes you may pray for God to change a situation, and instead, He changes you. He gives you the courage to handle what you once thought you couldn't survive. He gives you the wisdom to make decisions you once feared. He gives you the calmness to face situations that once overwhelmed you. Prayer is a reminder that no matter how strong the storm is, you have access to a stronger anchor, and that anchor is God. This is why people who pray regularly often seem calmer, more resilient, and more hopeful. It's not because they have fewer problems, it's because they have a stronger foundation. Their courage doesn't come from perfect circumstances, it comes from deep faith. Prayer doesn't just strengthen your courage for today, it prepares you for tomorrow. It builds emotional stamina, it builds spiritual confidence, it builds the kind of faith that whispers, I don't know how this will work out, but I know I will be okay. That is the power of prayer. It strengthens your heart, it strengthens your faith, and it strengthens your courage to keep moving forward. no matter what challenges appear in your path. Prayer opens doors you can't see, yet everyone experiences times in life when the path forward feels blocked. You try everything you can, planning, working, thinking, hoping, but nothing seems to move. It feels like you're standing in front of a closed door with no way around it. These moments test your patience, your faith, and your confidence. But prayer has the incredible ability to work in the unseen, beyond what your eyes can observe or your mind can understand. Prayer is not just a request for change, it is the spark that begins a transformation behind the scenes. When you pray, you are planting seeds that may not show results immediately, but deep beneath the surface, something begins to shift. Just because you don't see the outcome right away doesn't mean nothing is happening. Prayer works quietly, silently, and often invisibly, until the moment the result becomes undeniable. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For weeks, you see nothing. If you didn't know better, you might think nothing was growing at all. But underground, the seed is opening, strengthening, and reaching toward the light. Eventually, at the right time, it breaks through the soil and becomes visible. That is exactly how prayer works. You may not see the process, but the progress is happening. Sometimes, God's timing does not match your timing. While you want things to happen today, God may be preparing you for something tomorrow. While you want the door to open instantly, God may be building the strength, wisdom, or patience you'll need once you walk through it. This delay is not denial, it's development. Prayer aligns your life with the right doors, the right opportunities, and the right people. It clears obstacles that you didn't even know existed. It opens paths that were hidden. It creates connections that you couldn't have planned. Many of the best things in life do not come because we forced them. They come because we prayed for them, trusted the process, and allowed God to work. There are times you'll pray for something specific, and the answer comes in a completely unexpected form. The job you thought you needed may not be the one meant for you. The relationship you prayed would stay might have been removed to make space for a healthier one. The opportunity that seemed perfect might have closed because something greater was on the way. This is the mystery and beauty of prayer. It doesn't just give you what you want, it leads you to what you were meant to have. Even when you face rejection, prayer reshapes it into redirection. Even when you experience setbacks, prayer transforms them into setups for something better. Even when life feels still, prayer is moving things forward. Prayer also opens internal doors, doors of creativity, wisdom, and intuition. In a single moment of prayerful clarity, you might receive an idea that changes everything, a thought that solves a problem, a feeling that leads you down the right path. Sometimes the door God opens isn't external, it's inside your mind and heart, and while prayer works spiritually, it also influences you practically. When you pray, you develop patience. You learn to trust. You learn to focus on possibilities instead of obstacles. You start to notice opportunities that were always there but hidden behind stress, fear, or confusion. Prayer sharpens your awareness, helping you recognize doors that others might overlook. There are countless stories of people who prayed for guidance and unexpectedly found themselves in the right place at the right time. Coincidence? Many believe it's divine alignment. Prayer positions your heart to receive blessings you didn't even know to ask for. It clears away distractions, fears, and doubts so that the right opportunities can enter. Sometimes the answer to your prayer is not yes or no, but not yet. The waiting period is often where your character is shaped, where your faith is tested, where your courage grows. Prayer keeps you hopeful during the waiting. It keeps you connected even when nothing seems to be changing, because while you are waiting, God is working. In the end, prayer is not only a request, it's a release of worry, a release of control, a release of fear. And when you release those things, you make room for new possibilities to enter your life. So even when you can't see the door, trust that prayer is building one. Even when you can't see the way, trust that prayer is clearing one. Even when you can't see the change, trust that prayer is preparing one. Prayer opens doors, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, but always purposefully. And when the door finally opens, you'll realize why the wait was worth it.